something about these races. Now, here's one of the things that I don't think they do a good job at. San Diego County last election cycle, there was over 800 elected offices in San Diego County. There were over 100 offices that didn't show in the ballot. Do you know why they didn't show in the ballot?
Nobody running.
Yeah, nobody ran. Nobody went down and filled out the paperwork. Now, most of these, all you got to do is go down, fill out the paperwork, and you may have to, it may be a $25, $35 charge. For Central Committee, there's no charge. You can go down, pull your papers for Central Committee, and I want everybody to do that. The cutoff for Central Committee is March the 9th. What that means is you have to go down to the San Diego Registrar's office. So it's a big hassle. You got to go to the San Diego Registrar's office. You tell them that you're going to spend less than $500 on your race for Central Committee. That's a legal requirement. You have to tell them you're going to spend less than 500, more than 500, but less than 1,000 or greater than 1,000. And that's for FPPC reporting purposes. It's campaign finance reporting purposes. So you go down and you tell them you're going to spend less than that. And if you run for Central Committee, we're going to put classes on. We're going to show you how to run for Central Committee. Not only Central Committee, but other down races. But right now it's important for Central Committee because you have to have your papers in by the 9th. Now what that means is you have to go pull your papers first. There's a couple of forms you go fill out. They'll ask you what state assembly district do you live in, so they know which AD you're running in. They'll ask you, are you a registered Republican or registered Democrat, whatever the party is, and have you been registered for more than a year? And you say, yep, I have been. And they say, okay, here's your papers. Then they give you 4 pieces of paper, and you go out to other registered Republicans, Democrats, whatever party it is, and you have to get 20 valid signatures. You're allowed to collect 40. Now remember the thing that I showed you a while ago, the Registered Voters Database? You run for Central Committee, I'll give you at least 40 people that are within your neighborhood. All you got to do is go knock on their door, your 30-second introduction, I'm running for Central Committee, would you sign my paper so I can get on the ballot? I'm a good Republican, because everybody in here I think is Republican. But, or whatever party it is, you tell them, I'm a good so-and-so, and I'm running for Central Committee. Now most of the people are going to say, oh, well, okay, they're like you. How many of you ask, well, what is Central Committee? How many are still asking that? Nobody knows. But you're going to tell that person, we want you to vote. And then we're going to talk about family and candidates stuff. Now, here's another thing. All of these elected offices, these are the 800. Over 800, and this doesn't include judges. But we've got, in the county, there's 9 county offices, and the reason there's an asterisk because there's only one person that runs for that, like county supervisor. That's only 1 seat. All of the rest of these, there's 3 to 12 people that run for those offices. So you look up here, incorporated cities, we've got 18 incorporated cities. There's at least 8 people that run as the mayor pro tem, the city council, and stuff like that. In each one of these incorporated cities, there's at least 8 to 10 in there that are running there. The municipal water boards, the fire protection boards, the community service boards, the school boards. 47 school boards in San Diego County. How many of you knew that? One person. That's one more than I've had in the other 4 groups that I've addressed. Almost nobody knew that there were 47 school boards in San Diego County. So these are things, and these are important. They don't, now the school boards take a lot of time. The rest of these don't really take a lot of time. It's not really a full-time position for most of them. You go in a fire board or water district or something like that, you'll have a meeting once a week or once a month or once every 2 weeks. You get a small stipend, a couple $100. But here's the other thing. They also give you insurance because most of them are county offices. So you get some insurance benefits for you and your spouse and 1 or 2 kids. And most people don't know that. And like I said, there were 100 of these, there were over 100 of them, that didn't even show in the ballot. And most of them didn't show because nobody even filled out the paperwork. And it's less than, almost every one of these is less than $100 to go and register and pull papers for them. The other one, these other districts, those are in the general election, so we've got until August, July or August, I forget the exact date. But we've got time to get people to pull papers for those if you want to run for those. Or you want to find out who's there. We're going to come out with a list of everybody. These are nonpartisan offices. But we're going to come out with a list and we're going to show you whether they're registered Democrats or Republicans. Know the players, know the issues versus values, know the 3 T's of campaigning, and know the 3 C's of campaigning. We're going to hit those real quick. Currently, I'm going to show you something real quick. Duncan Hunter. I like Duncan Hunter. How many of you in here have met Duncan?
You mean Junior?
Okay. Great guy, right?
Which one?
How many of you in here know Duncan? Okay, here's one of the things, you want to get to know Duncan, you want to meet Rick. Rick is his deputy chief of staff. Rick, runs his office here in San Diego. You want to meet Vicki Middleton. Vicki Middleton is his chief of staff in Washington, D.C. And you really want to call and talk to Allison and send her flowers and send her candy and talk to her real nicely. She's her scheduler. She's the one that tells him where he really needs to go and everything, and she's the one that can tell you where he's going to be. What you want to do is you want to expand your sphere of influence. You can't just go up to Duncan and say, "Hi Duncan, I'm so-and-so and I want to meet you and I want to talk to you." You have to build a relationship. And the best way to build a relationship is to build a relationship with the people that he depends on most. That's their job. Their job is to build a relationship with you. Your job is to develop a relationship with them. They do their job, you do your job, you get to know him real well in a very short period of time. So, and you want to do that with any elected official. Now, how do you find this information out? Go to the website. Go to his website, look him up, and go to his website. Most of this information is there. His schedule is not on there, but you call up his office. Either one of these numbers, you call up the numbers that's there for his office, and you ask, who's his district chief of staff, who's his chief of staff, who's his scheduler, and guess what? They tell you their names. Because they're public officials. So it's not a secret. All you got to do is ask. And this is one of the things most people don't understand. Ask and you'll get it.
That works with most of them. Some of them in Congress, it doesn't work with. There's, like, I'll use Waxman as an example. There's some of them that are just really cheap.
And you know what you do about that? You go down to the county office and you get a Freedom of Information Act and you submit a Freedom of Information Act. And then remember the thing I said a while ago about Facebook? You put it on Facebook. They wouldn't tell you they are a public official, and they wouldn't tell you who their public, who is representing the public, because that's illegal for them to do that.
Run across many of them trying to do scheduling, and that is.
Yeah. Now the schedulers do change quite a bit, so that's one of the things you have to understand. The scheduler may be there for 3 to 6 months, and then they move on to other positions. Some of them stay there for a long time. The hunters usually, they're usually, their schedulers like them a lot. Their whole staff like them a lot, so they stay there. But like Maxine Waters or Waxman, somebody like that, people don't like them a whole lot, so they leave. Now, the 3 T's, time, talent, and treasure. The one thing that you have to understand is that of these 3 T's, that there is one of them which you, once it's spent, once it's gone, you will never get that back, and that is time. It's important that you use your time wisely. Know where you're going. That's why this elevator speech, 30-second, 30 to 45-second elevator speech is so important. You develop that and you take it into an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Talent. We went around the room. A lot of talent in this room. Utilize that talent. This is your sphere of influence. These are your friends. They want to help you. They want to help candidates that you want to support, that you want to help. And treasures. Now, what are treasures? What's the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about treasure? Money. What else is a treasure?
Values.
Value.
Personal relationship.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Friendship.
Home.
Your time. To a candidate, your time is invaluable. They can never get that back. Once that time is gone, it can never come back. So to a candidate, your treasure could be your time. And that's why volunteers are so important to a campaign. That's why candidates love their volunteers. And I mean, there's a real relationship that's built between candidates and their volunteers, because a candidate, having done that before, I understand how difficult it is. When I ran my campaign, it started out with me, my wife, and my son. We ended up with 235 volunteers. And it was just, it was absolutely amazing, the outpouring of love and support that these people gave to me. And it wasn't Woody that they liked when they first came into this. It was really Susan Davis that they hated. So, I mean, you know, you use what you can when you can. Then we go into the 3 C's. I want to hit those real quick. Coordinate. We want to coordinate the various different issues, agendas, and leadership and organization. Churches, and we mentioned a couple of different organizations here. Churches are really important. You go to church, talk to your church groups. If you don't have a Salt and Light, talk to your pastor about getting a Salt and Light. What that does, it registers people to vote. It's nonpartisan. I'm one of the founding board members of the Salt and Light Council. We go in and we talk to the pastors. We tell them what their legal responsibilities are. We tell them what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And if they get a letter from the ACLU, we have a team of attorneys across the United States which would love to get that letter. and they will protect that pastor. If they follow the basic guidelines, they can go into the website, and there's the thing called Pastors in Pulpit, Pastors in Politics. If they go into that, it gives them an overview of what their legal restrictions are, which are practically none. If they follow those, and the ACLU sends them a letter, we've got attorneys lined up that would love to get that, and they'll send the ACLU back to cease and desist. And if they ever get sued over any of this stuff, which we're trying to get that done in some of these organizations, some of these churches, and some of these pastors, we would love to see this brought back to the court system. Because it's not illegal to talk about that in the pulpit. List. You live and die by your list. Now let me ask something here. You had a thing back here. Donate $5 suggested. I don't know what the cost of this room is. I don't care. Might be $5, might be free, might be part of a membership, might be $1,000. But one of the things that you as a group need to realize is that you live and die by your list, and you live and die by the amount of money that you have in your collective club. And you live and